Alright, we're doing this. I know I'm super behind, but I still want to finish my review of Digimon 2020. I still haven't even finished watching the series, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish watching the series, and then I'm just going to give one more video that's like my final thoughts. But I did want to talk about two episodes in particular that I really, really enjoyed. One of them was the Noemon episode. And the other was I don't remember what it was called, but it was like the motorbike Digimon episode. Noemon, first of all, I've always loved the concept of Noemon as a Digimon. I think it's Noemon or Nohemon. The fact that it's the scarecrow, but the actual Digimon is the crow on its shoulder, and the scarecrow itself is just a puppet, and that's further reinforced by the fact that the face is just painted on. It's not a real face, and I just love that concept. Also, the fact that it's one of Wormmon's armor evolutions. It's Wormmon plus the Digimental of Sincerity or Purity, which kind of feels like more salt in the wound because, once again, it's yet another armor evolution for one of the 02 kids in a series where the 02 kids don't even get mentioned, but whatever. I loved how Nohemon was characterized as this kind of like weary mentor character that Taichi forms a bond with. I have a weakness for when one of the kids bonds with a Digimon that's not their partner, and that's exactly what this episode was. And it just, one of the things I always loved about classic Digimon was that the character writing was so strong. The plot wasn't always the strongest, but the character writing really was the backbone of the show. And I feel like in this reboot, the characters haven't really had as much of a chance to shine. And in this episode, the focus really was on Taichi and his bond with this Digimon. And I loved that Nohemon kind of like helps Taichi out, but my favorite scene was when Nohemon is taking the shot at the very end and his arm is shaken because he's been hurt and he's afraid, and Taichi kind of like just holds his arm up and steadies him. That was like classic Digimon character writing right there. It was just such a perfect shot. And then they take the shot together, and the episode is all about finding courage in the face of your fears. And it's so perfect for Taichi, and it ties right back into his crest. Again, in a reboot where the crests are there, but the meaning is never explained. Presumably because they don't have to, but it still makes for a weird tone. Like, the whole point of the characters is that they all have these values that their characters epitomize. And even though the symbols are still there, they're not really being used to tell the stories, and it's disappointing. So the fact that they gave Taichi an episode where his courage helped save the day, I really enjoyed that. The other episode, I did I did not enjoy the fact that Joe was kind of once again treated as a joke. My favorite character, he's being dragged through the mud, and it's not fun to watch. I don't know if he gets like a good episode later on, but I guess we'll see. The other one I really liked was the motorbike Digimon episode. First of all, that design looked ridiculous. I know the joke is like Pokemon gets its designs from real-world animals and then chibifying them, and Digimon gets its designs by taking real-world animals and adding a bunch of guns and machine parts onto it. It's like, okay, yeah, that's funny and all, but it was ridiculous looking. It was like a Greymon skin that was fused with a motorcycle, and it looked so stupid. But I loved the story of the episode. I liked that it was this motorcycle Digimon who wanted to be the best, like no one ever was, and so it accepted this parasite into its body that made it a dangerous machine, and it had to learn the lesson that racing is no fun if you're not, if you can just smoke all the competition. If you can't race with your friends, then what's the point? he had to learn that the real treasure was the friends we made along the way. And I like that, you know, he's telling, I think it was Garurumon who's like, oh, a fast Digimon, I want to race, I want to just have fun. And the fact that this motorbike Digimon is telling Yamato, you know, don't get close to me, don't try to help me, I'm too far gone. If you try to save me, you're just going to get hurt. And Yamato's like, no, I'm not going to let you suffer. I'm going to help you whether you like it or not. We're going to see this through together. Again, using his crest of friendship to help save a Digimon that's not his partner, which is, again, one of my weaknesses in the Digimon writing world. And I saw someone say once online that Digimon has, the franchise itself has kind of felt like it's become the Taichi and Yamato show, and all the other kids have been left behind. And it does kind of feel that way. For as big as the cast was in the original Digimon series, it felt like the writing gave them all a chance to shine. And with this reboot, it's just unfortunate that it's mostly been Taichi and Yamato. Even in Try and even in Kizuna, it kind of feels that way. And I know it's a little harder, like Kizuna was a self-contained movie. It's harder to get all the characters in to a movie, but, you know, with a series, you have no excuse. But, you know, regardless, those were two standout episodes that I really enjoyed. And what's funny is that, like, they're two of my favorite episodes in the reboot, and they have nothing to do with the plot. Like, they have nothing to do with the Holy Digimon and, you know, the real world stuff that's happening, but I loved them. And I think that really speaks to how this series is kind of dropped the ball in terms of I do like that they made an attempt to tell a new story. I didn't need just like a rehashing of the old story. If I wanted the old story, I'd just watch the original series. But it's just not as captivating. It's not as interesting as the original story, and we're not getting the great character stuff that we got in the original story either. So it's kind of disappointing. In any case, so this will be my second to last video on the 2020 series. I'm planning on finishing the series and then making one more, like, final thoughts on it all. I am going to watch Ghost Game. I'm probably not going to do a series of vlogs. I'm probably just going to do one video with all my thoughts on it. I am still writing a review for Kizuna. I don't know when that's going to be finished, but I'm working on it. But yeah, as I'm getting back into the swing of things, I definitely do want to talk more about Digimon, so all of those things are definitely coming down the pike. But in the meantime, I thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'm eternally optimistic, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take care.